Hey, thanks for slithering in. I am Symtherin. Welcome back to my channel and welcome in if you are new. Today we are building a castle. I haven't built a castle in, wow, a long time, but a while ago I had the urge to build one, and actually this originally was meant to be a winter castle because I started it in the wintertime, like maybe November, December, and was like, I'll cover it with snow. It'll look so cool. And then I just got stuck and it sat there for months. And eventually I came back and actually finished it. But I never put it in snow or put the world in winter because obviously now we're like in the middle of spring. It's actually Easter if you celebrate Easter, the day you're seeing this video, or at least the day I'm posting it anyway. But happy Easter, happy spring. And honestly, the colors worked a little better for this time of year anyway, so maybe that was a sign and we're better for it or whatever. But I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you enjoy this build and this process. We're trying to figure out like the tower kind of thing. I don't know. I'm playing around with it. I had a reference picture that I saw on Pinterest that I absolutely fell in love with. If I remember, I will try to link it down below. I know I try not to pop them up on the screen anymore because I heard that that could be like copyright infringement. I don't know, but I can link the original post down below so you guys can go and look at it if you'd like. And yeah, that's about it. We're just figuring it out at this point. Before I keep talking about this build, however, I do want to mention again that as part of the Creator Network and the Sims Creator Program, I do have my very own creator code that you guys can use if you pick up any packs that maybe you see in this video. I do not limit my packs in this, but you can use code Symtherin on thesims.com or through the EA app, and I'll get a little small commission from each purchase. Thank you guys for supporting me in this way, for those of you who have done this already and even just thinking about me. But I know there are like so many codes out there, so just being thought of is honestly amazing. And of course, thank you to EA for that opportunity. But here we are, we're getting like an exterior wall kind of thing happening, and it's kind of like having a courtyard, except it's not like in the middle of the castle or behind the castle. It's in front. It's like the entrance courtyard. I just thought that was really cool, honestly. It made me think of a fortress, but more on like a minuscule scale. We also get like this really cool bump out happening over here, and that might be one of my favorite spots in this whole entire build because I managed to put a little pool back there and it's completely functional and it just looks so romantic and chill. Like, honestly, I would live in this castle. I'm trying to remember. I think this might just be a one-bedroom castle though, because even though it looks somewhat big, all the weird bump outs and like tower pieces and things doesn't allow for much space on the interior. So there's not really too much going on there. Maybe you can like play around with it a little more if you absolutely need to fit a room somewhere. You can probably change things up. There might be, oh god, I'm really trying to think because I thought I tried to get another room in there somewhere, but it has been a while since I finished this, okay? So I did say that I started this build back in the winter, and then I finished it maybe in February? Yeah, I think February, early March, right? And then I just didn't know when to post it, and I guess maybe part of me was really thinking, you should hold on to this one. Maybe this is like your backup plan for a really crazy week. And here we are. I am in a really crazy week, at least the last couple of weeks, where I was a little ahead on videos for a while, and then I found myself not being ahead, and then I am actually preparing for a family member to stay with me. Right now it's just for one night, but it might become longer depending on how things play out. We'll see. But yeah, it's kind of like a trial run at this point, and I don't know. We'll see where that comes from, but pretty much I'm preparing for that this week. So I already knew I wasn't going to have too much time for the content that I was planning on posting this week because I'm not finished with that yet. So here we are. Here we are with this castle. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about those general things and we'll talk about the wallpaper we're using. We're using a lot of Castle Estate kit in this build, obviously, because we're building a castle, so why wouldn't you? Honestly, really good kit. I can't believe that came out like almost 2 years ago now, I think. It's been a while. It has been a long while since this came out. And then we have the rest of the wallpaper is from Get Together, which we're actually in the world of Get Together, aka Windenburg. One of my favorite worlds to build in. I mean, how could you not love it? It is gorgeous. And here we are adding some life and death roof pattern. That's the word. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get it together, I promise. I feel like Windenburg is like my go-to world for a lot of things, and I mean it's just so pretty. It really is my favorite world, and I just love all the nature around and very cottagey vibes and Tudor vibes and stuff. Some of my favorite builds. I feel like Windenburg is like Henford on Bagley, but with better lighting. Yeah, I think that's a fair description of it. But this little bump out here, this little side courtyard, I guess, where I put a lot of these arches and things, this is where I'm going to put the pool. And we're using rounded pools because honestly, why would you use any other shaped pool at this point in the game? Seriously though. Like every time I go down to place a pool and I put a square one and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? We have rounded pools. Like rounded walls were great. Obviously, we can get like some cool shapes and stuff, but they're very buggy and it sucks, okay? To work around it sometimes it just really sucks. It's a pain, but I feel like they really ate when they were like, let's do rounded pools. And it's like, yes, there we go. Now that's something that can work well. We honestly needed it. And I know there were ways around making rounded pools because you can like do kind of fun, like draw your own shape pools kind of thing with weird jagged edges, but then use other items to make pretend that the pool is round. Like Kate Emerald did it a lot. And if you don't know Kate Emerald, I don't know what rock you're living under, but she's amazing. So shout out to Kate. But the rounded pool update was definitely something we needed. I keep saying it too. I feel like this game the last couple of years, at least especially the last year, has had a lot of good updates and I'm really excited where we lead and go from there. We just had a big like base game Pride inspired update with a ton of colorful new items like beds and shelving and wall art, all this good stuff. And that's only like one of the many other free updates that they keep teasing because The Sims just turned 25. Insane, I know. But even though like the main big celebration might be somewhat over, we still have all year to go. And I know they're going to be stretching that because they've even said we have a lot to look forward to this year. So I am really excited to see what that is. Here we are getting started with some landscaping. We're doing a lot of pinks and whites in this build. And honestly, I love it. It's a vibe. It carries on into the interior. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet, whether it's going to be pretty little castle or a pastel castle. I'm not sure what I even put it up on the gallery as, but I know this has been up on the gallery since I finished it, or at least since I play tested it. So yeah, I don't know. I might have to go and look. But here we are loading up this spot with some landscaping, pool trim. We're using a lot of the, I think, Riviera Retreat. Is that the name of the kit? I think so. I use roof trim from Strangerville as like a flower bed fencing kind of thing for those bushes, which I thought was super fun. I wonder, I think, or at least at some point, I thought I had switched those out for the shrubs that actually light up that we got with the holiday festive event. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have to see later, I guess. I can't believe I kept in a lot of this, like, me finagling with the different wallpapers and floorings and like the floor plan. I typically don't leave that in, but here we are. And we're gonna, I think, jump back outside first before we even continue the interior. So yeah, we're gonna do some more landscaping and get this pond somewhat figured out. There were parts, I do remember, I did struggle sometimes with the landscaping on here. So I kept coming back to it to try and figure it out and make it look semi-decent. I feel like it's somewhat overgrown, but there's also a lot of places where it's not so overgrown. Kind of like that pathway walking up. I don't know. Let me know if you guys like that. I'm still unsure about it. Here we go. I did switch out those shrubs, so those have some pretty little lights on there. We're getting some flooring in here, and now I'm figuring out what to do as far as the rest of the space, because there isn't much. I do end up putting one lounge chair here and some clutter items, but I think that's it for the most part. I really like this spot. I think I would sit here and read and just chill a lot, even if it was like only big enough for one person. Honestly, not too mad about that. We also have a lot going on in the actual entrance courtyard that we're going to get to in just a little bit. And then, yeah, I don't want to talk about that yet because then I won't have anything to talk about while we're doing that. So we're getting some lighting. And, oh, I could talk about some of the towers because I don't furnish all of the towers, only some of them. And that's because there's only so much room in those towers and so much to do, but they all have ladders in them pretty much. So I think you can pretty much, if you needed like storage or a place for an extra activity or something, you can definitely utilize that. Here we are working on the kitchen, and please, please, Sims team, can we fix that thing where the stairs, like the railings, glitch into the wall? Because, oh God, that was annoying me so much. But I didn't want to get rid of the railings because it looks good on the other side. Like, geez. Oh my God. I don't know. So, fun fact about this kitchen. I did this recording and I even took some screenshots and things of this kitchen. And then I think while I was building the kitchen, the game crashed on me or something. And I had to come back and like refurnish this. So it might look slightly different than how you're seeing it now because I may have changed up some details. Just saying. I may have been like, well, maybe I didn't like exactly how that was, but I really had fun using this like checkered tile. I love this tile, but I don't use it enough because I feel like it's very specific sometimes. I feel like it's just very fancy. And this is a fancy kitchen because you're in a castle, right? So I imagine maybe this kitchen was a little more modernized based off of the vibe. Like a lot of work went into this kitchen. But we have a full kitchen. We have an island. I even squeezed in the dining table back there. It has a weird shape and a weird corner over there, but let's just ignore that. Just pretend like that is like not a thing. I think I just put some cabinets over there to make pretend that it's actually being used as storage in some way, maybe some extra appliances or things of that nature. So that was my thought process. What do you guys do with weird spaces like that in the game when you're building? Because I often find I have weird spaces and sometimes I just like close it off and pretend like this build or at least this corner doesn't exist to you guys. Like it's structure, you know? It's like a structural element. Oh my God. Okay, we're here. I don't know. That's just my thought process. I suppose you can also just put a bunch of plants. That's also a good use of space too. So here is the outside courtyard where I said we have a ton of activities that your Sims can utilize. So I put this bar out here. This is from, is it the Wedding Stories pack, that bar? It might be. This could be a really good place to like host parties and all of that, like get-togethers and things. I even added like an extra window out here just because it looked a little cute, okay? And an excuse to use the blooming room's curtains like that. Yes, please. Always need an excuse for that. What else do we put out here? We also put, I believe, a flower arranging table right in the corner next to the stairs. And we put something here. It might just be a table. At first, I thought maybe it was a chess table, but it's just a regular table. So I guess not too exciting, but it's a thing and it can be utilized, as you see fit. You could swap it out for a chess table if you wish, but this might be like a really nice fun place. Those chairs are from, I think, like one of the backyard stuff packs. I say one of the backyard stuff packs, like there's multiples. It's really just one backyard stuff pack, but there's also like toddler stuff where there's a lot of different outdoor things for that. But you guys know what I mean. I'm just gonna ramble on. But I paired it with that for rent table and I thought it was cute. And we also have some seating over here, and I think I just put some storage. I put this wedding arch in the doorway archway. I didn't test that. It might be functional, so maybe you can do weddings here too. It's probably not an ideal place for a wedding, but like a full-on, wedding stories wedding or wedding with guests and things, because it's not really set up like that. But there we are. There we have it. I should build a wedding venue. I actually have not done that ever. Like, I really need to do that, honestly. So maybe one day, stay tuned. I have wanted to build a church for a while, and I even started one when Life and Death first came out, but I never finished that one either. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at like starting things and then just not completing them, and it sucks. But sometimes it's just not meant to be yet. So maybe I'll return to that too, and we'll do all of those fun things. At least there's plenty of stuff to be done. I also turned one of the towers into an artist studio, and I think that would be the room that we're going to actually decorate next. I pretty much utilize all of the artist studio kit. Here we go. Now we're in action. I'm a little ahead of schedule, but I really thought this was fun. Like, this is right off the pool area, and maybe your sim just comes in here to escape. I don't know if I technically would want to paint in here or have an activity in here, because there are windows, but they're really tiny windows, and it feels kind of dungeony. But if your sims don't mind that, or if you don't mind that, then you have a room to paint, and you can like lock the door so no one like disturbs you or anything, which might be fun. And then here we are working on the living space where we get this new fireplace from, I think is it the Sanctuary kit? The one for Bella Goth, I think that's the kit. Guys, there's so many kits and so many things. I cannot keep track of the names of everything, so I'm just going to do my best. Okay, and we switch out these bookends for, the cabinet pieces for bookends from the Book Nook kit. Oh, so many packs. So many packs. I don't know how anyone keeps up with it. Anyway, we are just figuring that out, and we are getting this chandelier, which I think I'm going to drop another name of a kit. It's the Storybook Nursery kit. That's the one. The coffee table is from a kit. That's the Cozy Kitsch kit. Blooming Room kit, plants, like you name it. Let me stop naming kits, okay? When I was building this build, it was actually a nice change of pace for me, or at least when I started doing the interior design and like furnishing part of this build, because I did it well past when I finished the exterior, right? So this is like a couple months after I finished the exterior already, but at that point I was building and decorating a lot of like more darker wood tone interiors, and while those are my favorite kinds of interiors, like just a very cottagey, dark and warm and cozy vibes, sometimes you need a break from it, otherwise you get a little tired and burnt out from looking at them. And that's where I was here. Is there a certain type of build style that you guys build in that you love so much? It's your favorite thing to do, but every so often you just need a break from it. And then if you do, what do you take a break with? Like, what kind of style do you go to? Are you used to modern builds and then you build a cottage or something, or vice versa? Let me know. I'm very curious. Oh, look at the fun string lights. This was also from the new, is that Businesses and Hobbies? It might be that pack. I think so. Yeah, so we are like months ahead now, and we're wrapping this build up, I think, on the same day that I had started this part of it, so which is good, because I was like, I really need to finish it. Anyway, this balcony spot is just a nice little gardening spot. I think this might be where I get a chess table. Yes, I think this stays, and we just get some extra seating and stuff up here. So definitely a ton of activities for skill building for your Sims in this build, which is super fun. It's kind of a shame it's only a 1 bedroom, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be good for someone's gameplay. Like, I know some people do like the everything sim challenge or like master sim challenge. I don't know what you call it actually, but that's when you basically take one sim and you work on mastering every single skill and job and aspiration and you name it. So maybe this would be a good place for that, only because of the amounts of things I put in here. This spot here is a little library space. The second and third floors for this build was so weird to figure out because the stairs are in a weird spot, but there's also not enough room to really break off into like separate rooms, you know? So we are using the business and hobbies bookshelves here. We have this poof from Little Simsy's Comfy Gamer kit. Here I decided maybe the sim would have a cat, and I put like a little cat corner in this like little bump out here. And then I think I get a TV and maybe a radio in here. I'm really trying to remember it, but I felt like it was a nice little cozy space. Yes, I think I do pop this TV over here just so you have some form of entertainment, because, you know, Sims get bored. Honestly, same. It's good to watch TV sometimes. Are you guys watching any TV recently? Any shows? Any fun shows? The Last of Us Season 2 just started. It came back and really excited for it. Although I did think about waiting till all of the episodes are up, but honestly I was a little excited, and my boyfriend and I watched that first one, and we'll probably watch the second one tonight. Tonight as in the day this video comes out. I don't know why I feel the need to explain that, but I do. So in this corner, we have another skill building activity. It's a yoga corner. I think this was cute. I felt like this area was very zen and kind of cozy. But we also have an office space up here too, so you can get some skills that way as well. I make sure to get a lot of greenery. These curtains are from the paranormal stuff pack. I thought it was fun putting this statue here from the businesses and hobbies expansion pack. Like, it was pretty new at this point when I was actually working on this build. What else is on this floor? Not too much else. I think we just get this desk and maybe some more seating. I can't remember what I put on the other side. Huh. If there was any new Sims news, I would share them here, but there hasn't really been much else since we got the 2 creator kits recently and that big base game update with the Pride inspired items. So right now it's pretty quiet on that end. I know My Sims got a big update, so you can actually use My Sims on Steam Deck if you have that. I think that's super cool. I don't have that. I really got to get back into My Sims and try and play it again. I just haven't had the patience for it, to be honest. And I have it on my Switch, so I don't know. You would think that'd be easier because I could play it in bed, but I don't often take my Switch to bed. That might be the problem. Maybe I need to take my Switch to bed, but that might be also a bad idea because maybe I won't sleep. Anyway, okay, so it looks like I put like a radio over here and maybe probably some more seating of some sort. After this, we are going to furnish the one and only bedroom in this build. As you can see, as I've mentioned before, there's barely any room to really work with here, so I really had a hard time trying to fit in a second bedroom. This top floor might be big enough to like add another bed in, or like a single twin bed, maybe a nursery, crib, bassinet, but it would pretty much mean sharing a room because there's only one set of stairs, and there wasn't really any good way to kind of make a hallway, if you know what I mean, because then you wouldn't have space to move around. But on the bright side, there is a tower up here that I was able to turn into a bathroom. What I did with the towers was I furnished one bathroom and then I just copy and pasted it. It's so easy that way. And for someone who loves decorating bathrooms, when I have to do like a lot of them, then it's kind of a bummer. Which honestly, that's another point. There are a ton of bathrooms in this build for just like 1 or 2 Sims. It's like at least 3 bathrooms. It's kind of crazy. But for a castle like this where there's a lot of stairs and stuff, maybe that just makes sense. Oh no, you guys can tell me. But that's a wrap for this build. This bedroom came together really quickly, surprisingly. We are going to hop into live mode and give this the good old playtest. Look how pretty she is in live mode. Isn't that amazing? It would be if the camera didn't jump, but we have ducks, we have swans. Like, no, we just have ducks. I'm just kidding. I thought about putting swans, but I didn't do it. So our sim is already inside getting things going, or at least getting comfortable. She's sitting in our living space already, drinking juice, it looks like. There are a few things I've wanted to play test here. Like, for instance, can you practice making drinks here? I also want to see if I can make something over here on this flower arranging table because it's in such a weird spot. That works perfect. You can stop doing that now. Oh, it looks like we can. Oh, that's so good. I love that for us. Next, I want to make sure the pool area works as well because I don't know, it's just so cute in here. Let's get a bird's eye view. Isn't that nice? And she's just gonna float around, but actually I also want to see. I am not confident that this lounge chair is going to work. Oh, it looks like it is. Even better. The welcome wagon is here. I actually might greet the welcome wagon this time. Let's invite neighbors in. Maybe they can just test some things out for us too. That might be nice. I'm not going to play the piano, but I'm going to see if I can sit here at least. Yes, which means that would be functional. I should test out this bathroom, and while I'm at it, I will set this as a bathroom sink. I don't think I have a shower in this one. No, I do not. After that, we are moving on to the kitchen. Wow, he is just running in here like he needed to get that music on. That is hilarious. Okay, dude, you do you. But here is our kitchen. You guys are gonna have to tell me if you think this is a whole different vibe than the rest of the castle, but honestly, I don't mind it too much. The whole welcome wagon's just hanging out in here listening to music, I guess. Over here is just a little dining space as well. Nothing too fancy, but we also have this nice island as well that Sims can sit at. Look at that. Mila is testing the piano for us too. How awesome. Weren't you just in the other room? That's hilarious. There are a lot of doors and things to go through in here. So I feel pretty confident that everything down here is going to work okay. I'm going to come upstairs and I want to make sure this bath works first and foremost. That is working beautifully. Next up, I need to make sure we can get in here. Maybe we will practice some yoga. And there we have it. It is working over here as well. Perfect. I actually really like how this corner came out. It just looks so zen. I would do yoga here. Speaking of zen, we can make sure that our office space works. This is also very cozy. Very classy, but very gamer, you know? Last but not least, we're going to go and test out the bedroom. It's on our final floor. Here it is. I love this little bench from the business pack. And look at an alarm clock. We love it. Our Sim's over here checking herself out, making sure this vanity works all right, which we are in tip-top shape. And the last thing I really want to make sure works is this bed. I really love the blues and pinks in this room too. I really think it flows very well, and this beautiful wallpaper from Life and Death, it just adds to the charm of it all. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this castle build, please let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, a big thank you to all of my channel members for supporting me in this way. You guys are awesome, and I hope you're enjoying your little emotes and channel badges. And with that, I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye! And of course, this build is up on the gallery under Pretty Little Castle because I'm super creative. You can also find it by looking for the hashtag Symtherin or under my gallery ID of the same name.